winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shia, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. Greenway growth, clean communities, dog park, the film Unbroken, and the state of the state. Big plans are in the works for the Middlesex Greenway. The former rail trail stretches 3.5 miles through the center of Middlesex County, spanning Edison, Metuchen, and Woodbridge. It was opened in 2012, and it will soon enter a new phase and be extended deeper into the Ford section of Woodbridge, where walkers, runners, and bicyclists will be able to access the trail from a local park. Officials hope the trail will eventually connect to Perth Amboy to the east and Edison's Dismal Swamp to the west. Meanwhile, a team at Rutgers University has outlined plans to highlight and enhance the Greenway's value. For more on the new study, see this week's editions of Greater Media newspapers. And here's Mark Rossman with more headlines.
A local Boy Scout has put his knowledge of computers to good use in pursuit of the rank of Eagle Scout. Andy Gow of Freehold Township recently built 6 computers and donated them to the YMCA Community Center in Freehold Borough. Andy was assisted in the project by his fellow members of Boy Scout Troop 155. The project involved months of work and brought updated technology to children who may not have a computer to use at home. Andy said he recognized that technology is becoming more prevalent and that students are in need of it on a regular basis. With that in mind, he undertook the effort to assist the community center. The project involved raising about $3,600 for parts and software. The computers Andy built will replace older models. YMCA branch director Mel O'Neill praised Andy for his efforts on behalf of the people who will use the new computers. Now, stay tuned for a report about how students in Middlesex County turned the Martin Luther King holiday into a day of service.
For a day dedicated to service in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., the 4-H Junior Youth Council gathered together for their annual service project. Some 20 members of the council, who are 6th to 8th graders all across Middlesex County, plus 5 team leaders who are high school students, spent their day off on January 19th making Valentine's Day cards for children who are patients at St. Peter's Hospital in New Brunswick, as well as baking breads for Elijah's Promise Soup Kitchen at the Middlesex County 4-H Center in East Brunswick. This is Kathy Chang for Greater Media News.
Governor Chris Christie gave his State of the State address last week. Here's Adam Ujako with what the governor had to say.
Legislators offered mixed responses to Governor Chris Christie's State of the State address, with some criticizing it as lacking concrete proposals for fiscal issues facing the state in 2015, and others applauding it as a look back at an economy on the rise. For example, Assemblywoman Nancy Pinkin, a Democrat, said the governor's speech failed to address issues such as the several credit downgrades that have plagued the state and Christie's decision to withhold a portion of pension payments last year. However, State Senator Jennifer Beck, a Republican, said the economic recovery, though slow, should be acknowledged. She added that the governor highlighted a number of things to be proud of, including the decline of the unemployment rate to 6.4%. John Weingarten, the assistant director of the Eagleton Institute of Politics at Rutgers University, said the speech served as a precursor to the governor's likely presidential campaign. But he said daunting challenges for the state, such as the Troubled Transportation Trust Fund, were not addressed. For more on reactions to Christie's State of the State address, see the full article in your local Greater Media newspaper.
And here's a roundup of headlines you need to know. An Old Bridge man died last Wednesday after being shot by a police officer. Police said 75-year-old Talbot Schroeder was fatally shot in his home after he allegedly confronted the responding police officer with a large kitchen knife. A preliminary investigation showed that the officer, whose identity is being withheld, had attempted to calm Schroeder down. With the advent of the newly opened Ocean Township Recycling Center, the township may be meeting with neighboring municipalities to discuss sharing recycling services. Allenhurst, Lock Arbor, and Deal are potential partners in sharing the drop-off center on Sunset Avenue. Long Branch has been named as the host of a 3-day environmental conference in May. The annual Clean Communities event would feature more than 1,000 students from across the state celebrating their environmental accomplishments in the past year. The dilapidated clay courts at Marine Park and Red Bank have been going to the dogs, so to speak. Well, local officials want to make this a literal reality, as there's now discussion about repurposing the courts into a dog park. For more on these stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mike Pavlichko of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on Rutgers basketball. After that, we have Tim Morse with more on local sports.
So last week I gave kudos to the Rutgers basketball team for knocking off number 4 Wisconsin, the highest-ranked team the Scarlet Knights had ever upset. And not that anyone ever expected a Big Ten championship to come out of that, but you'd figure maybe that would help the Scarlet Knights turn the corner a little bit. Well, it didn't, and it's starting to get frustrating for head coach Eddie Jordan. After a loss at Minnesota this past weekend, on his post-game interview on WCTC, Jordan was exasperated. Listen.
When you turn the ball over 19, 20 times, there's no really good defense for that. And we just, 20 turnovers for 26 points. We spotted them 26 points. It's hard to win on the road against a team that's desperate for a conference win, giving them 26 points. It's the same lessons we teach them every day in practice. That these are the things you cannot do. And we did them. We just can't turn the ball over, playing idiot basketball.
Look, the fact that Rutgers is not learning from its mistakes is what makes this team and what has made this program in recent years so frustrating for fans and for coaches like Jordan. Now, Rutgers football learned, Gary Novo learned this past season under the tutelage of offensive coordinator Ralph Friedgen, but Rutgers basketball, that's been another story for the last several years. Now, don't forget, if you want to vent about Rutgers or just talk about Scarlet Knights basketball, you can do it every game on 1450 WCTC. After the post-game show, we've got Nightcap with Martin Sories taking your calls at 732-545-9282. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
It's mid-January, a time when temperatures are falling outside and inside basketball divisional races in the Shore Conference are heating up. In A North, as the boys' teams make the turn and head for the second half of the season, no fewer than 5 teams are within 1 game of each other, with Freehold Township holding down the top spot in the public school division. To stay on top, the Patriots had to win an emotional game at crosstown rival Freehold, whose fans were out in full for the Cunard Classic. Defense has been a Patriot trademark over the years. They used it here to get a steal and a layup from Dan Saunders. Freehold Township likes to get out and run in transition when it can. But if the easy basket isn't there, they can run a half-court offense efficiently with their ball movement and passing game, resulting in this Saunders basket. Josh Dixon did all he could to keep the Colonials close on baskets like this. However, it would be the Patriot teamwork that prevailed. When not running, the Patriots showed they can be very patient on offense, passing and moving without the ball. Solid teamwork, which resulted in an easy basket for Mike Staklinski in this 57-43 Patriot triumph. Over in Red Bank, the host Bucks, wearing white, were looking to catch the visiting Colts Neck Cougars. Colts Neck came into the game undefeated in the division, while the Bucks had lost once. Red Bank showed its patience here against a solid Colts Neck defense. This basket by Sadiq Palmer was a traditional three-point play. In transition, Red Bank likes to get out and shoot the ball quickly. This three-pointer by Anthony Mitchell helped the Bucks jump out to a big early lead. Colts Neck would look to Chris O'Reilly to get them back in the game and keep it close. But the Bucks prevailed 55-46, leaving the two teams in a tie for first place. Tim Morris, Greater Media Newspapers.
The Edison Police Department has come under scrutiny over the past few years, and if a proposed bill passes, it may face a more official critic. Here's Kathy Chang.
Holding police officers accountable is the aim of a bill proposed by State Senator Peter Barnes III. The bill would create a pilot program that gives the state attorney general's office oversight of the Edison Police Department's Internal Affairs Division. Barnes initially proposed a broader version of the bill 2 years ago, but received opposition from the Attorney General's office, the New Jersey State Policemen's Benevolent Association, and the State Fraternal Order of Police. The senator revised the bill to focus on his hometown of Edison, but the move has drawn opposition from the township's administration and Edison PBA Local 75. The bill was discussed during a Senate Law and Public Safety Committee where Barnes is a vice chairman on January 15th. Barnes said it brought him no pleasure to bring the matter before the committee. However, he said the department has been plagued by problems for over 35 years. The American Civil Liberties Union of New Jersey and the New Jersey NAACP are in support of the bill, as well as John Paff, chairman of the New Jersey Libertarian Party's Open Government Advocacy Project. Beef Stephen Finkel, Assistant Attorney General, said while his office shares an interest in solutions regarding integrity, he feels that the system in place is sufficient. For more to the story, visit our website, gmnews.com.
He has worked closely with the likes of Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert De Niro, but now local actor is moving on to Angelina Jolie and the Coen brothers. Here's Jeremy Grossman on John DeLeo and his new film, Unbroken.
Manalapan resident John DeLeo doesn't care about popularity. He would trade 1 million people recognizing him on the street for one job. The 19-year-old actor has taken a level-headed approach to Hollywood, even after working with some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry: Robert De Niro, Michelle Pfeiffer, Angelina Jolie. 2 years after starring in the 2013 crime comedy film The Family alongside De Niro and Pfeiffer, DeLeo currently appears in the box office smash Unbroken, directed and produced by Jolie. Based on the book by Laura Hillenbrand, Unbroken tells the harrowing true story of Olympic athlete Louis Zamperini, who was tortured in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. DeLeo plays Peter Zamperini, Louis's older brother, who gives Louis the strength he needs to eventually survive his series of horrors. To prepare for the movie, DeLeo held conversations with Jolie, who inspired him to think of his own older brothers in his role as Pete. "She's fabulous," DeLeo said of Jolie as a director. "She knows exactly what we're thinking and how to emotionally connect with us." To learn more about DeLeo's career, how he prepared for Unbroken, and what it's like working with Angelina Jolie, visit gmnews.com.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see a Greater Media newspaper today. To keep up with the latest headlines, like us on facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News or follow us on Twitter @GMediaNews. I'm Susie Shia. See you next time.